It's not the news that I wanted to hear at all. The fallout from last night's thrashing at the hands of the Phoenix Mercury, the game didn't really matter at this point because unfortunately learned that in that game we lost two of our players for the season. Sydney Colson went down. She was one of our offseason pickups. Didn't really have the contribution this year that we thought she would have, but at the same time, she did play very hard for us, and she was very happy to be there. She was, by all accounts, great in the locker room, and hopefully she'll still be around to be great in the locker room for us. Hated to see that. I knew when she went down, I knew that she was hurt pretty bad. I was hoping it'd be something that she could kind of come back from towards the end of the season, but it is a torn ACL, so hate to see that. Like I said, by all accounts, Sydney's a pretty cool person. She felt comfortable messing with Caitlin Clark on a live stream, which Caitlin didn't was clearly uncomfortable by, but she didn't make a big scene about it. So I guess everything's okay there. That was one of our point guards, though. I was our backup point guard, and of course our starting point guard, Caitlin, has been out for a while with injuries of her own, and so I hate that for Sydney. She's getting kind of older, so what her future holds as far as basketball is a little bit in question, but hopefully she'll be able to come back and if she wants to, or use this opportunity to transition to the next phase of her life. I certainly wish her the best. Very very happy that we had her this year. We're lucky to have had her. I know things might not have gone the way we hoped for they would on the court, but it's just kind of how it goes. So. And the other one, we lost Aari McDonald, who appears to be one of our key pieces for the future. I think it's a broken foot. So luckily she's young. I think she'll be able to recover from this, and hopefully she'll do like Caitlin Clark and watch these games from the sideline. I don't know how easy that'll be with a broken foot. I'm sure she'll have to have some pretty heavy, brace, cast, or whatever, and she might not be able to. But I hope she, really takes the opportunity to kind of sit there and watch. I've been kind of critical of her lately for, not always making the right passes or making a pass to people that are open. Maybe she'll see that. It's at the end of the day, it's kind of easy for us and people like myself sitting there watching it from the high angle TV. We're not there on the court. She's 5'6". She's much shorter than most of the people out there. Her vision could be limited. That's the big reason they like taller quarterbacks. So they can see over the offensive line and the defensive line. I know Doug Flutie always, he was obviously very, very, small for a football player, even though he was a great quarterback. He couldn't always see what was going on. And this guy, I guess it'd be kind of like that, since the point guard's basically the quarterback of the offense on the basketball court. So maybe she'll start noticing some stuff, and hopefully, I hope she'll be a part of our future. So the question now is, what does the Fever do now for the rest of the year? Obviously, they're going to have to pick some people up, and I don't know how that works. I'm going to pretend like I do. All I know is we have to make some deliberate decisions on how we approach the rest of this year. So do we pick up, the trade deadline's gone, so the way we've gone about it at the start of this year was, we built one of those built to win now teams, which I didn't like. I've never liked the built to win now teams because, they're old. And, even if you get that win, you're going to fall apart real quick and be old and just, go fade back into irrelevance pretty quickly. You can think like the 2001 Los Angeles Rams in football. They're one that come to mind. A lot of veteran presence, built to get that one championship, and then, it's, 3 or 4 years later, it's like never happened. So I never liked that because I felt like we have a young core in Caitlin and Aaliyah and Lexi and Kelsey, even though, they're Kelsey and Lexi are a little bit older than I think we realize, and Sophie's been around more. We got her now. To me, there's a young core you can build around. And that's the direction that I personally feel like we should go. I think we need to start getting Chloe Bibby a lot more time out there, and Michaela Timpson, I think we need to start getting her more time. I know Stephanie does not trust them for some reason. I don't know if it's we have to win now, we have to, do this or do that, but we're not going to win this year. We might can make the playoffs, but I see another first round exit for us in our future. Even if Caitlin's able to come back and be 100%, this is not the team around her that she needs. Now, Chloe Bibby is. She might not be there yet, though. I would like to see them, really, especially when Caitlin comes back, put her on the floor with Caitlin a lot. She's that, what they call it, stretch four. I think would be great for Caitlin. Stretching the floor, can hit threes, can, I think she can drive the lane. I don't know. I haven't really had a chance to see. I haven't had a chance to see much of anything from her lately because Stephanie White won't play her. And that's the thing I worry about, too, is, Stephanie White going to take that opportunity to realize, okay, we need to, basically 2026 starts now. And she can take that attitude, or she can, try to get patchwork and just, plug in all the veterans she can find off the scrap heap and, continue to keep people like Chloe and KK on the bench. So we'll have to see with that one. Like I said, hopefully she will, take this opportunity to really give them some time and let them, experience it now. And like I said, start building for next year. Because like I said, those built to win now teams, you end up like the Phoenix Mercury. I know it might sound like a sour grapes after last night, but I mean, it's, a bunch of players that are old. And, they're trying to win it all now. Most of them have not won it, or if they have, it's been a while, or they're riding off the coattails of somebody else. But, you got people like Alyssa Thomas, I know has never won anything. You got DeWanna Bonner, who's had a long career, but a mostly unspectacular career. A few All-Star games, I think like one All-NBA team in like 17 or 18 years or something like that. And, she's piled up a lot of cumulative stats, but, she's trying for one last shot at glory. She won a couple championships riding on Diana Taurasi's coattails. I know I made a video saying Diana's not the GOAT and trying to basically knock her down, but she is still one of the top 10 players in WNBA history. And DeWanna Bonner was, riding her coattails to those championships. And Clea Copper, I know she won one with Chicago, kind of a surprise championship coming off of COVID in 2021, but she just, again, she's another one just kind of looking for one more shot at glory. And, a lot of these players like DeWanna and Alyssa Thomas, they were on the Connecticut Sun last year. They left, and now the Connecticut Sun are complete trash. Not only are the players pieces of trash, like J.C. Sheldon and Marina Mayberry, the team itself is literally the bottom of the league. The expansion Valkyries are doing a lot better than them. So you can't really. I don't want to see these built to win now teams. I want us to take this opportunity to, because the Mercury aren't going to win it this year either. It's either going to be the Lynx or the Liberty. I don't see anybody touching those two, especially the Liberty get healthy. But it's those are the two teams that are going to decide it all, and so we just need to take this opportunity to really, really build for our future. And we need to understand that, this team goes through Caitlin Clark. We have to build it around Caitlin Clark and see what works for her and what doesn't work for her. It's time for Stephanie White to take the brakes off of Caitlin, the training wheels, whatever you want to call them, and just let her be Caitlin, like Christy Sides did last year. And we just need to understand that, because she is the transcendent talent, and you have to build a team around her. Putting an all-star team around her is not the best way to go about it. You have to put the people around her that complement her. I mean, I always use the Michael Jordan with the Bulls comparison, but they didn't put an all-star team around him. In fact, the only time in his whole career that he played with somebody that made an all-star team that year was a Scottie Pippen. And only four of the Bulls championship seasons did Scottie make the all-star team. So 2 of the seasons, Michael was the only all-star on that team, and the other 4, it was him and Scottie were the only all-star on that team. People had either made all-star teams a long, long time ago, or it was Scottie, or they never did. So, that's just how it is. Now, like I said, obviously, Aaliyah Boston is no Scottie Pippen. She's, at least by the WNBA standard, she's somebody that can win a league MVP and be that valuable. So it's time to really, really build around those two. Even Kelsey Mitchell, as much as I love her, like I said, you got to realize she's been in the league for like 8 or 9 years now. So her and Asia, I think, are from the same draft class. I think they went 1 and 2. So to me, it's time to, like I said, start building for the future. Give Chloe and Michaela Timpson some time out there, some pretty serious minutes per game, and worry about how they're gonna be winning championships in the second half of this decade. So. We just have to understand, instead of trying to do that win now, we need to worry about winning, starting next year. So that's my take on that. I hate it so much for Aari and Sydney. I hope they, wish them very speedy recoveries. Like I said, hope we can keep Aari. Hope she comes able to come back full strength. I hope they're, for their own sake, I hope they're both able to come back full strength. But we're gonna miss them this year, and hopefully the Fever will make the right decisions and start planning for the future. And hopefully Stephanie White will not get in the way of that. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you later.